While the true extent of a character's power is frequently unclear in superhero stories, Garth Ennis' satirical series, The Boys subtly revealed Homelander's maximum power, placing a numerical value on it in one of the comic's more subdued but effective subversions of genre convention. Written by Garth Ennis and illustrated by Russell Braun, The Boys number 65 includes a casual remark from Mother's Milk that highlights the true strength of the Seven's commander. The Boys provided readers with a specific range within which Homelander's power could be envisioned by estimating their foe's superhuman strength. This made him all the more formidable when his long-awaited transition into overt villainy eventually materialized, considering his propensity for vicious violence throughout the series. The main adversary of the satirical superhero series, The Boys, is Homelander, an insane person. Homelander's power set is relatively comparable to Superman's, having been inspired by the Man of Steel. They have the ability to shoot lasers out of their eyes, fly, and are immune to most injuries. While Homelander has no qualms about utilizing his skills in horrifying and wicked ways, Superman uses his powers for good. Homelander uses his superhuman abilities to slaughter individuals, mutilate his allies, and level buildings on a regular basis in The Boys. The fact that Homelander appears to have no bounds to his power makes him even more terrifying. For the most of the series, he serves as a powerful allegory for unbridled authority in both his deeds and the seemingly limitless range of his potential. By The Boys number 65, the reader is exposed to what the character had been hiding, including a sharp insight that measures the extent of his strength. The might of Homelander is revealed at a time when he has slain the U.S. president and is almost complete in his coup attempt to take over the entire planet. Speaking with Mother's Milk, Huey learns everything there is to know about Homelander's background, including his romance with Black Noir. Noir is a clone of Homelander, Milk admits, created to take Homelander out should he lose control. Mother's Milk speculates that the Soup has become insane due to Black Noir's influence and his incapacity to carry out his job, while Huey shows skepticism over the circumstances. Black Noir's strength was made public by Mother's Milk, which claimed the Superman could bench press a dozen Mack trucks. It goes without saying that Homelander's strength is equal to Noir's, especially in light of the information regarding their relationship. This, in general, puts into perspective their utterly amazing strength and the real fear of having such power possessed by the most barbaric people imaginable. Looking towards Homelander's ultimate goal, Garth Ennis carefully considered whether or not to respond to a question about his strength. While some fans may find this shocking, it is actually an expansion of The Boys' larger endeavor. Even if the phrase "a dozen Mack trucks" could seem unnecessary to the reader at first, it is important to examine more closely because the analogy contains a lot of information. A Mack truck may weigh up to 30,000 pounds, depending on the type, and that is before freight is added. A fully loaded truck in the United States is allowed to weigh up to 80,000 pounds by federal statute. Put another way, The Boys number 65 shows that Black Noir and Homelander can lift weights as low as 360,000 pounds and as high as roughly 960,000 pounds. This judgment is intriguing since it is both absurd by the standards of reality and possibly mild in light of the accomplishments of DC's Superman and some of the other greatest characters in comic book history. But that seems to be the main reason Garth Ennis included this passage of speech. The Boys number 65's Mack truck remark is an example of the expositional dialogue that frequently occurs far earlier in the narrative. Rather than informing, Ennis spends a good deal of The Boys demonstrating Homelander's abilities. The final act of Homelander, where Billy Butcher marches into a final encounter with his enemy, is when his power level is assessed. It serves as a reminder that Homelander is an enhanced human, not an alien, even though he is a Man of Steel equivalent. Here, Garth Ennis subtly reminds readers that, even if the series frequently went to ridiculous lengths, It was also anchored in a level of realism that is not required of more traditional superhero storylines. Writer of The Boys Garth Ennis had to walk a tightrope between creating a figure that seemed unstoppable and a potentially deadly foe with Black Noir and Homelander. Just as it does for Superman and a plethora of other superhero characters, the Soup's skills were not explicitly defined for the most part of the series for narrative purposes. The opposite was true in The Boys number 65. Providing a quantifiable range for his strength increased the story's impact as it neared its dramatic resolution. Concrete elements, such as the Boys' Mack truck remark about Homelander and Black Noir, appeal to superhero fans because they help to define their view of the character. For many readers and comic book authors, the narrative that are told month to month may be the most important things, but for a significant section of the superhero fan base, the details that appear issue after issue are what stick out the most. This is the way lore is formed, by fusing story with trivia. Garth Ennis's profound comprehension of the mechanics of superhero storytelling served as the foundation for The Boys' overarching motivation to subvert the superhero genre at any costs. Ennis needed to write a novel that fit the genre in order to promote his criticism of it, and The Boys did this admirably for the duration of its publication. The portrayal of Homelander and the abuses and excesses of his power, which were the core of what made The Boys such a powerful tale, was a significant component of that.